you to our awesome patrons who made this video possible. To join our community and get cool rewards like postcards from around the world, click the link in the description or go to patreon.com/thewayaway.
Russia!
If you haven't watched, yesterday we filmed a video of us taking a ferry from Helsinki, Finland to St. Petersburg, Russia.
The Russian visa loophole. Check that video out.
Yeah, we actually are here visiting the city.
Without a visa.
Without a visa. So this morning we needed to go through immigration and it took so long.
If you are just joining us, this is basically the beginning of our summer Nordic series, and this has Nordic with an asterisk because many years ago, centuries ago, in 8th century BC, this part of Russia was founded by Swedes, Vikings actually, and they merged with the Slavics and the whole, a couple thousand years of history. But here we are in Russia today, and we are exploring St. Petersburg.
We didn't have many plans because we didn't expect to be here 2 days ago, but we planned to do a city tour. Unfortunately, going through immigration took over 2 hours. So if you are planning on doing this trip, know that immigration in Russia does take a very long time.
Especially the way we did it.
And we missed our tour, sadly.
Right. So if you've watched the previous video where we came in on the ship under the visa exception policy, just know that you aren't going to be getting into the city until almost noon because of the way the schedules line up. And we have to leave here tonight by 5 p.m. at the latest. That is the last bus back to the ferry. So we don't have much time here. We blew the date for our city tour and now we're just on our own. We're here in Capitol Square. Behind us is the Hermitage Museum, one of the largest museums in the world. And real quick, we just wanted to share like our first impressions of Russia, more like St. Petersburg, but Russia in general from our American perspective. And then we're going to get into actually sharing the city a little bit with you guys.
Hi!
Welcome to Russia.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you.
We help children which live without parents. Would you like help together?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Not today.
Oh,
thank you.
Okay.
But thanks. Have a good day. Bye.
Welcome to Russia. It's hard to know if that was a scam or legit, but who knows? Whatever. They were very nice.
Cute girls.
Right off of this square is, as we mentioned, the Hermitage Museum. We're going to go inside, check it out a little bit, just to see what we can see from here. We walked inside the Hermitage Museum. There's like a courtyard square in the center. It's really pretty. It's kind of got this like seafoam green color and then white and gold everywhere.
Yeah.
Super beautiful.
It's crazy how beautiful the buildings are here in St. Petersburg. They're all kind of a pastel color, which is not something that I would expect or that I expected, but they are beautiful. I feel like a doll in a dollhouse because everything's giant, beautiful.
Russian doll?
What was the word that I used?
Opulent.
Opulent, opulent. It's a very good word for the city so far from what we've seen.
So when you walk into this square, you can buy tickets to the Hermitage Museum. It's around $19 US. There's a kiosk and you can pay by credit card. So super simple. But real quickly about the museum itself, it is the second largest museum in the world. It has over 3 million items and then the largest painting collection in the world.
Yeah, not all of their items are on display at all times, but there are so many things to see here. Even though we love museums, we don't have time today to go through this whole museum. It would literally take up the whole time that we have here in St. Petersburg because we have to go back to the boat. So we want to check out a little bit more of the city, but I'm glad that we came into this little area and were able to show you what we did.
This place was established in 1764, I want to say, and then
really old.
It only opened to the public in 1852, so like 100 something years.
Yeah.
If like 150 years, approximately.
ice cream. Black ice cream and unicorn ice cream.
Whoa.
We couldn't help ourselves. This is black currant and basil soft serve. It's so cute. Okay, I'm gonna try it.
Blue?
Oh, it's so basil-y.
Oh, really? Tastes like an herb?
It tastes like basil.
Oh, your teeth are black.
Are they? Oh, shoot.
Smile.
Oh,
Wow, that's super black.
I wonder if it'll turn my whole mouth black then.
We were about to do a whole thing where we talk for a lot, but now, if we're gonna have black mouths.
Oh my gosh, it tastes like I'm eating a basil leaf. That's so strange for ice cream. But nice and cool because today is a very hot day.
Apologies if you can no longer take us seriously because we have black currant and basil in our teeths, but that ice cream was delicious. Like Ashley said, it tastes very strong of basil, but it had a really good like berry undertone, so I thought that was pretty nice.
It was fun.
We're here in the Summer Gardens now. This is actually one of the top places to visit while you are here in St. Petersburg. It's basically just a lovely garden. Now, when they say garden, you'd think like flowers and it's more like a lot of green and a lot of paths and some sculptures and fountains.
There are a lot of people here just enjoying being around the green space here in the city. It is a city, but I love cities that have green space where you can just kind of get out of it and be in a peaceful atmosphere.
St. Petersburg is often called the Venice of the North or Russia.
Yes.
So many places are called like the Venice of XXX, but I think this one is actually kind of like that because there's full-on canals and boat tours. I bet you if we had more time, doing like a boat tour would be a really fun thing to do.
Yeah, I wonder if they have them in English because all the ones that I saw were in Russian. But I think that there are also like, this is one of the top visited places in all of Russia.
Oh, for sure.
There are a ton of tourists here, not only from other countries, but a lot of Russians that are tourists as well.
St. Petersburg is definitely a tourist destination.
Yeah.
So we promised that we'd share with you our first impressions of Russia. So let's talk about that. We're American, and America and Russia in the more recent historical context have not been the best of friends, as you probably know. So the only thing, like so many places in the world, the only thing that we know about them is what we hear in the media, in the news, in news articles, in news events, that sort of thing. So the general impression as an American of Russia would be negative. It's not necessarily like a place where we're thinking, oh, it must be beautiful and everyone's nice there. Like that's just not really something that we think about, you know?
But I think that's a lie.
Right.
So far since we've been here, everyone's been so nice. I haven't known what to expect. I had no idea we were coming here 2 days ago, so like I didn't do any research. I know nothing about St. Petersburg, but I've been so surprised at everything that I've found. Everything's just, comfortable and really nice. I really like the city so far, but we are only getting just a small impression of what Russia in general is like.
I wouldn't say that St. Petersburg is a great representation of Russia overall. Most cities are not, but St. Petersburg, as from what we're seeing, is very modern. It's beautiful, and as Ashley mentioned before, opulent. There's like it's a very romantic European style buildings, huge in grandeur. So that's really cool. But very modern in that we've been able to pay with credit card or tap to pay on our phones every place we've gone. We had breakfast here. We bought ice cream at a truck along the side of the road with tap to pay. We haven't had to exchange currency at all. And like she said, everyone we've met has been really friendly. Not even, except for like the security guards who are like trying to be rough. A little gruff. But you know, like that's pretty normal for security guards. And the cafe that we had breakfast in, everyone was like sort of chic and cool. And then you see people of like all varying degrees of society walking around, from like someone in dungarees and like coveralls to like high fashion. It's like a full mix of people.
I've noticed a lot of the women here wear dresses that are past their knees, and then a lot of them have heels on,
a lot of heels.
Is common,
A lot of open toe heels, which is different from some places.
A lot of smoking, and then when the women are smoking, a lot of them are using like really thin cigarettes. There are just a few different things that like first impressions, what we notice that are different from anywhere. We've been to over 60 countries, and so when you go to a new place, you're always just looking around trying to see different things, and those are the probably easiest things to see that are different.
Yeah, for sure. So far, extremely comfortable. I haven't felt Like, you know how like in some cities you go around and you have to like watch your pockets and you're like keeping an eye on everyone? Here, I haven't found an ounce of that. Not a single bit. There's security and police everywhere.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a single shifty or shady person, like no dark alleyways, that sort of thing. Like everyone just seems actually quite open and friendly. So
we've noticed a lot of cameras, like a lot of cameras. And yeah, I feel very safe.
Like security cameras.
Yeah, on the outside of buildings, which isn't always common other places.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a bike-friendly city that I've seen. There are no bike lanes, and no one on bikes actually.
We saw like a bike sitting somewhere, but that's just one bike that we've seen in the entire city.
Yeah, it's a very cool city. I love the water. I love that there are canals here and that it's really close to the water. It's really neat.
Based on our few hours here this morning, I can highly recommend St. Petersburg. I would actually like to spend more time here. Like, I found myself weirdly fond of this place already. Like, it's charming.
Yeah, and we know a few Russian words like da and
spasiba.
And
Borscht.
Das vidanya.
Yeah, das vidanya.
Babushka.
Okay, see, we got all the good words. All right, anyways, we're going to enjoy the summer gardens a little bit more, walk around, and then I think there is this really famous church just on the outside of the forest. Garden.
Yep.
So we're gonna check that out now too.
Woo! One of my favorite things about the city is that it's built around a river, so there's lots of water around the city, and also the little canals that you saw earlier that come from this river. It's called the Neva. I think that's how you pronounce it. We're not quite sure, but there is so many boats of like tour boats, people just hanging out, people enjoying. It's a really warm day, and so it's the perfect day to be out on the river.
The river is pretty massive, but as far as like the landmass of Russia is concerned, it doesn't even go that far in. It goes up to a lake called Lake Ladoga. Lake Ladoga. Oh man, my pronunciation is probably really bad. But that lake is massive. It's about 50 times estimated larger than the city of St. Petersburg. So from that lake and other tributary rivers, it flows through here. Now historically, there's about like 3 main banks plus a bunch of little islands in here, and the whole area now is giant metropolis. But you know, centuries ago, it only covered a small portion, and it's just expanded over time. It's a huge city, really. We're at an interesting place right now. It's just the backside of a place called the Church on the Spilled Blood. That's a pretty interesting story. So yes, it's a church, right? A lot of Russia is historically like Orthodox Christian for several centuries now. But this church specifically was built on the spot of the assassination of a czar. Well, assassination is sort of a loose term because in 1881, Alexander II, I believe, was riding by in a carriage, and some anarchists threw a grenade. It didn't hurt him at all, so he got out of the carriage and was like, hey, quit throwing grenades, and then another guy threw a grenade, and that one hurt him a lot, and then he went off to the Winter Palace to recover and never did. So his son, Alexander III, I believe, in 2 years after the fact, started building this church here, and to this day, it is a monument to his father, as well as a church. That's the story, as I understand it.
We've come into a Russian grocery store, and there's tons of little fun things, but we're looking for something to bring back on the ship for dinner, pre-made, and they don't really have that. But lots of cookies, and lots of sweets, and a bazillion gazillion beers.
And they're all about like average prices that you'd expect, from like $1 to $6 for a big old one.
Yeah, it's not terrible pricing here in Russia. I'm surprised. We're actually in a city, so it's definitely going to be more pricey here.
Sure.
But they have a fun little corridor that you go through. It doesn't seem real. But
we didn't realize we came back to like the hidden spot, because check this out.
The workers go through there. The real people, this is just like a little section. We go through here. What? And the rest of the grocery store. One thing they use a lot of here in the recipes is like a Russian cottage cheese, and it's a type of cottage cheese that's really hard to find in the US. I think you can make it yourself, but yeah, there are a lot of things with that ingredient in it. I really wanted to try something here in the city, but our time is running short, so we need to find some food to take back on the ship.
And of course, lots and lots of vodkas and brandies, all kinds of stuff. There she is. Oh.
Meats, cheeses, and pasta.
Lots of traffic.
Yeah.
That's definitely one thing I've noticed. There's a ton of traffic here.
The city center is not a great place for cars.
No, and they drive a bit aggressive. Not as aggressive as some places we've seen, but certainly quite aggressive.
For those of you who don't know, we have a group of people called patrons who believe in our channel and want to be a part of it, and because of them, we were able to do this spontaneous trip to Russia. And so we thought it would be the perfect place to get our postcards and send them to some of our patrons. So we have postcards from St. Petersburg coming your way, patrons. Thank you so much for believing in us. If you're interested in being a patron and getting postcards from around the world, definitely check the link below and become a patron of our channel. Woo! Russian bakeries have got it going on. Look, we got 3 little bags. We were searching for something to eat on the ship tonight, and so I got a quiche, Josh got a sandwich. We're good to go. I think that was successful.
We did look for something more traditional, but we couldn't really find it in our short period of time without going to like a sit-down restaurant, which we don't have time for. So we're going to go with the traditional quiche and sandwich.
There were lots of Russians in there.
There was a lot of Russians in there. That is, you know, local food, okay? Yeah. There's also a fast food joint that we stopped in that was like fully Russian, but the names didn't translate to anything English that we understood. So, and there were very few pictures. Yeah. So we're like, let's just go for something that we can point at.
Yeah, but something that I did learn is that 5 to 10% if you're at a sit-down restaurant is a good tip for here in Russia. I didn't know that you tip in Russia, so that's good to know. Yeah. As well as, the prices were pretty good. I think we spent, I don't know, on breakfast we spent about 15 USD.
Including tip.
And 2 coffees and 2 meals. So not terrible for the city center.
Yeah. So this is the line to get back into immigration.
Yeah, we're gonna be here a while. Shoot.
All right, through immigration, there's the ship. That was honestly, overall, pretty easy.
Yeah, actually, it worked out really well. Did you notice that there's a girl on the ship?
A girl? Oh, there she is. She's looking out at St. Petersburg.
That's pretty cool. I like it.
And this immigration office definitely has that Soviet Russia look and feel. I think they're doing pretty good on representing there. So that is our experience in St. Petersburg in Russia for one full day. I will say I do think it's worth it, but if I can recommend anything, it is to stay more than one day.
Yeah, so you
just not enough time.
Without a visa, just coming on a ferry, you have 72 hours, and I say take up that time, make sure to spend a little more time than we did. Now, like before we came, I wasn't sure if Russia was a place that I'd want to come back to or want to spend time in, but after being in St. Petersburg, I definitely want to come back to the city and Russia as well.
If Russia is anything like St. Petersburg, it's awesome. Like, I'm genuinely charmed by the city and I want to spend more time here. Yeah. It really surprised me.
Yeah. It was a really, really fun day. I'm so glad we just took this one day, even though, you know, we could have chosen not to come because it was a short period of time, but I think that it was well worth it.
Yeah, so once again, thank you to all the patrons who helped make this possible.
Yeah.
Again, if you want to help join the patrons, there's a link in the description down below. $20 and above each month is the ones getting the postcards. Our Nordic Summer Series continues with Finland, Helsinki tomorrow. So, Way fam, I hope we encouraged you to get out there and travel today. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're already subscribed, hit the little notification bell symbol thing that lets you know when we publish a video so that you can watch it as soon as possible. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Helsinki, here we come.
Wait, how do you say goodbye in Russian?
До свидания.
До свидания.
See you later. A huge shout out to all of our patrons who helped make this video possible. If you want to follow more, go to Instagram at WayAwayMag. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to check out our second channel, Way More, if you want to see way more from us.